Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Zone of Interest. And this movie is directed by Jonathan Glazer, and he is the same director as Under the Skin. And I liked Under the Skin. I thought that was a solid movie, and I would definitely watch that again. And this one was a film that was nominated for Best Picture, and it was nominated for some other awards. And I was curious about it, and it was being distributed by A24, and usually that's a good sign for me. I do like most of their movies. Like the only thing I don't like is The Black Coat's Daughter. Yeah, lots of hype going into this movie. I knew nothing about it, and I watched it, and I was very disappointed with this movie. I didn't get anything out of it. And the only thing I knew going into this movie was that it was a World War II film, but shown from a different perspective. I was like, okay, what are we going to do with this concept? Well, what does this film have to offer that will separate it from other World War II films? It's tame and it doesn't really show anything. It's just you hear it in the background. And I thought that stuff was effective. And I think the score for the movie is great. I think it was very effective and creepy and memorable. And the sound design is also fantastic. Whenever characters are walking, you can hear their footsteps very clearly. And whenever gunshots go off, they sound like gunshots. Sometimes they're in the distance. It always sounds natural any time that they do that. And this movie looks very nice. It's a very well shot film. And on a technical level, I don't have any issues with this movie. I thought it was all pretty well handled, but what was really lacking for me was the story. There was basically no story, and I didn't really feel as though there were anything to the characters, and I just was kind of bored. There was no hook, and it kind of felt like it was trying to be, in ways, Eraserhead, minus the weird stuff that happens in Eraserhead, and then you get this movie, except it's a Holocaust movie. Eraserhead's not a Holocaust movie, but getting a little off track there. I was just waiting for something interesting to happen, and to some extent, the ending does have, I guess, something, but wow. It's basically just characters talking, and I get it. The point of it is supposed to be like, what are these German characters doing while the Holocaust is going on? And I didn't find a single one of these characters to be interesting. I didn't find any of their conversations to be interesting. I didn't find any of the characters memorable. Not a fan of the tone, not a fan of the overall structure. And this movie is really slow. Like 40 minutes in and nothing happens. And it's like 50 minutes into the movie before you even get some resemblance of a story finally happening. And it's like, oh, there's something here. But that lasts for like 10 minutes and it's more scenes of nothing happening. Characters walking around, barely talking, and it's just not compelling for me. There are things that kind of did work for me conceptually. I did like the idea of showing what the lives of these people were like probably back then when all this stuff was going down. And I was like, okay, that's a good starting point. But the movie kind of just stays there and doesn't really move from there for some reason. It's like this movie could have worked a lot better if it were a short film, because I did not see any reason why it needed to be a feature-length film, honestly. Like, if it was a short film, it could communicate the exact same amount of information to you, just with less time to do it, and it would be a much better experience. And I kept asking myself, well, since we're not going to really see any of the violence during the Holocaust, I kept asking myself, why did this movie even need to be a Holocaust movie? Like, if this movie was taking place in modern day, like, I don't think the movie would be any different. I really don't feel like you would lose anything. And also, on top of that, this might cause people to get a little upset, but it's just a personal thing that I have going on in terms of like movies and stories. I am really sick to death with movie set in World War II because it's so overdone. Like, there's nothing left to explore in that time period. And anything that could have been explored has been explored already, and yet we keep going back to that point in time. I get it, it was an important point in history, and it should be remembered, but we keep getting the same exact story over and 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 over, and I'm just sick to death with it. I cannot stand it. It's irritating. I hate it. And when I watched Apocalypse Now for the first time, with that movie being set in Vietnam, it was a breath of fresh air. I was like, oh my God, thank God, like something new. And that's part of the reason why I love Apocalypse Now, is because it's different and it actually takes a story and uses it to tell a compelling narrative, and it has interesting characters, great performances, great action scenes, and so many memorable scenes that stand on their own, and I'm compelled all the way through. Whereas this movie does not have any of those things for me. And that's about all I have to say about The Zone of Interest. I was very disappointed with this movie. It was very well made, but I kept asking myself, what are you trying to show me? Like, what about this experience is so unique that makes it special for, I don't know, me or anyone else watching the movie? Like, I'm genuinely curious because this is a very well-received movie. Like, I just want to know, like, what other people got out of it that I just missed. But I was really trying to get into it, but it didn't click for me. So if you like this movie, more power to you. I'm so happy that you liked it, maybe even loved it. And I don't know, I'm one of the few. I'm one of those who did not like The Zone of Interest. Don't let me stop you from enjoying it. So with all that being said, I'm going to give The Zone of Interest a 4 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of The Zone of Interest, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for a film I've never seen before. I have no idea how to pronounce this. Melacanola? I give up. Here it is. Here's the poster. Directed by Lars von Trier, the first Lars von Trier film I've ever seen. I haven't seen anything else from him, including this at this point. So this is going to be my first movie that I will be experiencing from him, and I'm hoping that it's good. So I'm excited to check it out. But until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.